Hi, this is Megha Joshi, the host of the Boardroom Zen podcast. This show is created for the ambitious business leaders. Are you someone wanting to play big? Want to possess a strong brand and executive presence that makes you belong in every room you walk into? And all of this without putting your personal life on hold? If the answer to those questions is yes, then you are in the right place. In this show, I sit down with best-in-class leaders to distill their wisdom while sharing what helped me stand out as a Fortune 100 executive. So let's get started. Our guest today joins us from Atlanta, Georgia. He's the global head of cable and communications at Genpact and a dear friend of mine. And let me tell you, his superpower is building kick-ass teams and driving digital transformation for his clients in the media industry. But that's not all. Beyond his glowing professional accomplishments, he actively serves on multiple boards, making a real impact and giving back to the community. And when he's not out there changing the world, you can catch him enjoying the good things in life. He's all about reading, playing golf, and savoring delicious foods and awesome music. This man knows how to live it up. Please join me in welcoming none other than Manohar Ashwath to the show. Manohar, welcome.
Megha, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Manohar. It's been a few months in the making. Having a Globetrotter like you on this podcast has been difficult, trying to fit in all the schedules, but I can't tell you how excited I am that finally you're here with me.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm honored to be here. The work that you do, especially in the Boardroom Zen, I follow it closely and is a big source of inspiration for me.
Thank you. And so let's unpack who Manohar is. And I'd love for you to give us a sneak peek into the raw, unfiltered Manohar that most people do not know about.
I'll tell you just a couple of views into what that means to me, and followed by a story that helps you give you a sense and a glimpse of the raw and unfiltered. Look, for many people who knows me may perceive me as a driven and accomplished professional. What they may not know is that I've had my fair share of challenges and setbacks throughout this journey. I have experienced moments of self-doubt, moments where I had to summon the courage to overcome those. I'll give you a story, a short one.
Yeah, bring it on.
This was about 10, 12 years ago. We were on the verge of losing a key client relationship, and the situation seemed very dire. I got this call, and I was actually in another city, and this client relationship was in New Jersey, New York, and I was in the West Coast. They called me and they said, "Hey, look, we need your help. We need your help to rescue the sinking ship and turn things around." I actually took a step back and said, "Wow, this is 2 levels above me calling and trusting my ability." And it's a profound opportunity and a test to my resilience.
Yeah.
I immediately grabbed it, and it was very soon rubber hits the road. I found the reality was much harsher. Client had lost hope in our commitments. They lacked trust in our team. Even our teams seemed hopeless, lacking motivation to turn things around. There was so much going on in this place. Honestly, I'll tell you, it was that moment for me, my self-doubt. And I started to question my ability. Can I really turn things around? It was that testing moment. However, I was determined not to let the adversity define me. Yeah. It was really a big moment for us and my team to change that and change the journey into a transformation relationship. Just a couple of things we did is we immediately handpicked a great talented of individuals who shared the commitment to challenge the status quo. We went in the client office, we started deep diving, identifying pain points, and turned around the things in a short span of time. To our surprise, and I think we delighted the client through our ambitious proposal. The short part of the story is really, we just not only salvaged the relationship, but we turned into a strategic partnership. Yeah. This experience is really what taught me the power of resilience, the importance of embracing vulnerability. And that's really what people don't know. Look, we all have that vulnerability. We all have that self-doubtness. But use those opportunity, use the power of resilience, and turn those situations into the success and art of possibility.
And that's so well said, Manohar. Resilience and vulnerability are so key to our success in any situation, whether it's personal or professional. And in that, with that experience, you were able to unpack and bring out that resilience that was deep down inside. And I'm glad you shared that example because people only see tough exteriors and the confident persona that we walk around with all around. Nobody would even second guess that you would have self doubts. But here you are sharing real stories, which now would inspire many more people. So thank you for sharing that. I'm really intrigued by how your early beginnings were. Clearly, you are someone of South Asian descent and you did not grow up in the United States. You spent majority of your formative years in India. And then you moved here to the United States and now you've established yourself as a top executive who identifies new markets, who drives expansion, and you've created so much success. So, when you look back at your journey, is there any specific skill or experience that shaped your success?
First of all, I think I did all my schooling, grew up all in India. And this has been huge, a huge opportunity, and we are very grateful to it. My secret weapon for this humbling success is the power of adaptability, or what I call is a chameleon mode. Growing up in India, jumping to United States was not just as easy as switching a TV channel between Bollywood to Hollywood.
Right, right.
It was a cultural roller coaster for me. Being adaptable is just more than adjusting to the time zone, different
Totally.
time zone. You really have to become a master of quickly adjusting to new surroundings. And my wife and I had to adapt a lot of things. So picture this, right? In the first few weeks of our relocating to United States, and I'm trying here, working very hard to make my mark in the American corporate world. And it's my first few meetings, and I go into one of this room filled of American corporate team. It was really my accent decided to have a little fun of its own. My colleagues had to decipher what did I say, and the whole thing from being a comic show to really changing that into a friendly attempts of partnership and relationship, those laughter turned into genuine connections for me. That day I realized the power of adaptability, being able to navigate the cultural nuances and connect with people from all walks of life.
Yeah,
All walks of life. So
that's
while my
huge.
journey being from India to US, and I've started with a few comic moments, but I'll tell you, it was the adaptability I cultivated along the way that truly set me up for business and personal success.
Yeah, in that spirit of adaptability, I think Manohar sets us all apart, especially immigrants that move into a new country. They are now being hit by a whole new culture and language and experiences. So how do you still preserve who you are, but at the same time adapt and change so you could also be a part of this new environment that you have now embraced?
I agree.
And I moved here more than 13 years ago, and I came here to pursue an MBA at the Ohio State University. It was my accent that I wasn't a fan of. Just like you, I struggled with that. And my goal was to neutralize my accent. I need to talk and show up like everybody else around. And there was this need to fit in. But at the same time, over time, I recognized that I didn't have to let go of who I was. I could, yes, I could neutralize a portion of my accent, but I didn't have to turn into somebody completely different. And so I've had similar experiences as you, but clearly adaptability is such a precious skill. Now, the person that you've become, Manohar, I'm wondering if you'd play along on this hypothetical journey with me. And let's say today you bumped into a younger self of yours who was at least 2 to 3 decades younger than who you are right now. So, what piece of advice would you give this person knowing what you now know?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for the compliment. Actually, if I have to go back to my younger age, it has to be 4 decades, 3, 4 decades.
All right, fine.
So this is a loaded question. I'll tell you, it's you learn so much every day. If I could really give advice to my younger self, it would be to embrace imperfection. Embracing imperfection is about recognizing that nobody's perfect and that imperfections are a natural part of being human.
Yeah.
I'll break that down into 3 or 4 categories. One is the self-acceptance. You have to accept yourself as you are, including your flaws. It's really acknowledging that perfection is unrealistic expectation. And you embrace your unique qualities and celebrate them. Okay?
Yeah.
2, the growth mindset. Viewing imperfections as opportunities for growth is a powerful mindset shift. We get so much discouraged by mistakes, shortcomings, but we got to see them as a valuable lessons towards
Yeah.
improvement. The third one is authenticity. By being open about your flaws and vulnerabilities, and this goes back to my unfiltered Manohar, you create a safe space for deeper connections and trust.
I love it.
And the last one, I think we have to make a conscious effort to letting go of perfectionism. I think it can be paralyzing and prevents you from taking risks.
Yeah, very much so. Especially type A people find it so hard to let go because they just want to deliver and over deliver every
Yeah.
time and they can't accept imperfections at all.
And it's a journey. It's a continuous journey. It takes practice and self-compassion. This is probably an advice I would give to my younger self.
Such wonderful advice. Thank you for that, Manohar. And now I'd love to explore a little bit about your perspective as a leader. I know that you've not just built, but also nurtured a lot of globally dispersed teams and large teams across Europe, Asia, and US. And as you build those teams ground up, are there any key attributes you look out for in the leaders that you bring on? And if yes, then why? What are those attributes and why?
First of all, I'm so fortunate that I have such a phenomenal team. And I've been fortunate in the multiple leadership roles that I've been part of. I'm responsible to drive the global team. So I've been very fortunate to have such a phenomenal team. But there are 3 key attributes, primary attributes that I seek. The first, I look for a leader who has a global mindset, who demonstrates a deep appreciation and understanding of this interconnectedness of the world. We are shrinking so much with this whole technology. I mean, today I can talk to my mom and my dad with 10,000 miles away just in a fraction of seconds.
Sure.
But this global mindset creates something very unique. Actually possesses curiosity about different cultures, economies, and markets to expand the business.
Right.
2 is the adaptive resilience. Leaders need to be resilient and adaptable. They must possess the ability to bounce back from the setbacks, adjust their strategies in response to new challenges. That is the number 2. The last one, and I think this one is very close to my chest, is this strong sense of hunger, fire in the belly.
Yeah.
This attribute goes beyond mere ambition and competitiveness. With fire in the belly, they actually inspire and motivate their teams, pushing boundaries, instilling a sense of purpose and ambition. So these leaders bring an infectious energy, a relentless pursuit of success, and achieving exceptional outcomes. So these probably are the 3, and I'm sure there are more, but I personally look for these 3 as key attributes.
Yeah, what a great list that you shared with us, Manohar. And the third one, which is hunger, that is my favorite too. And Napoleon Hill somebody that I've been following for years and reading a lot of books, he talks about this as the burning desire, that fire in the belly to accomplish great things and move towards those goals we have. And it plays such a big role in propelling us towards those objectives.
That is so true.
And so clearly, as you run and manage these global teams, I'm sure there are moments where things aren't going your way. And so in those weak moments, what practices, if at all, do you turn to regain your strength and focus?
I have two secret weapons that keep
Bring
me
it on.
in a very high performing state. My two young kids, Ria and Navneet. With the chaos of deadlines, work demand, I can tell you these two really give me a great dose of laughter and joy in my day. I'll tell you what my daughter does. She actually asks Alexa, our voice assistant, she says like, tell me a joke that makes my dad smile. He looks very stressed right now.
Oh my gosh, that's a first. I've never heard a kid ask that kind of question.
But there's one part. The other thing that I do is I'm very regular in exercise and meditation. I take enough breaks. It's important. Really, particularly find it very helpful in one thing between all this is the practice of gratitude. I constantly look back and say the things that I've learned and gained, and I'm very grateful for it. That keeps me away from negatives and helps me focus on the positive aspects of a situation.
Yeah, those are great practices to put things into perspective and not let the external pressures get to us. Because if we have a strong core and if we are nurturing ourselves, our mind and the body, then it's very hard for external pressures to penetrate and break us down. I know you're also an avid reader. So, is there any must-read book that you would recommend to every aspiring executive?
Absolutely, many actually. But just about last year, I read this book. Not sure if you have already. It's a management book written by Kim Scott, Radical Candor. It's basically the title says this: be a kick-ass boss without losing your humanity. What I really take away from that book is, personally for me, it offers specific guidance about leadership, building trust, establishing effective feedback loop, yet being direct. Challenge your teams directly to help them grow and improve. I highly recommend this. This is one book that has changed my perspective of being empathetic and being candid that ultimately creates an atmosphere to drive performance, collaboration, trust, and employee development.
Beautiful. I had not read this book, but now it's on my reading list. So thank you for sharing that. To have you on this show, it's been an absolute delight. So thank you again.
Likewise, thank you for having me. And you have incredible work going on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Manohar. There is no better time than now to stop playing small and tap into your zone of genius. With a Boardroom Zen executive coach by your side, experience the game-changing transformation, both internally and externally. Find out more on boardroomzen.com. And thank you for listening to my show. It means so much to me. I'd love for you to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite listening platform. More power to you, and hope to see you soon.